Start streaming. Find chat window. Here we go. All right, so today I've got this on my desk. This is an iPad Air, first generation, that has no touch. Now, this is a problem that I have largely avoided because most people that look into it say, oh, it's not solved by anything straightforward. I know Mark put some time into it once, and he changed pretty much every single thing in the touch circuit, and it still had no touch. So he kind of concluded it was a missing voltage from under the PMIC. And so we have only been looking at these for data recovery. Then the iPad Air 2 no touch, I think, is a lot more straightforward. So we solved a couple of those and then decided, hey, let's take a look again at the iPad Air first generation no touch. So this is new for me. I have not looked into this. But I looked at this particular one a little bit last night, right after I got done recovering that Seawater 7 Plus, which was a hoot because the note said I got pushed into a saltwater pool on my honeymoon. Please, please, please recover the pictures. And then when I recovered the pictures, the last one on there was him 20 feet under the ocean walking around taking videos. That's not getting pushed into a pool, bro. So that one I think is pretty funny. All right, so let's do this. Let's check in and see together what we can make of this. I think it's going to be interesting because I saw kind of a fault when I looked at it for about 10 minutes last night. So let's take a look. Here we are at the hand cam. So this is an iPad Air with our test housing. Great, press home to open. That's not gonna happen. Let's see, does it, maybe it just fixed itself. Work, come on. Just make my life easy, come on. Give me an easy one. Rule number 1, parts, no? All right, it looks like it actually has no touch. So let's try to figure out how the hell does touch work on the iPad Air. Let's see, let's check in on chat. Maybe one of you guys knows a please bro solution. Anybody, can anybody please bro me how to fix my iPad Air no touch? Let's see. Okay, no please bro help? Come on. No? All right, so let's go to the schematic then, since it looks like we do not have enough please bros to help me with my iPad Air please bro solution request. Fine, then we're gonna be forced to use our brain. Let's look at the schematics and let's see, let me close away this and that and go over here. So I think that you guys can see this. All right, so let's start. Let's figure out how the heck does touch work. I'm gonna guess that we can get a good idea by starting here at one of the 2 digitizer connectors. So let's start with J6620 and see what the heck does it do. J6620, tell us about yourself. All right, so this is the digitizer connector. Pinout matches grape flex drive. All right, so all of this looks like data for the screen. So none of this is going to cause no touch. I would expect any of these to be, short to ground or open line would cause a dead line of touch. So let's see what else is on this page. The other digitizer connector. So all of these are MT panel out. These are MT panel in. Same thing. There's ground. That's it. So none of that is really helping at all. So connector is not going to be it. So let's just follow one of these and see if we can find our way back to the business end of the touch circuit. All right, so this leads to Cumulus. So I know Cumulus. Cumulus is a touch IC. All right, so on this page, we're going to learn a little bit about touch. So it says Cumulus C1 in master slave configuration. There's a master Cumulus. Hopefully, can you guys see that? I can't tell what you guys can see when it's on screen like this. Cumulus master and Cumulus slave. All right, so all of the stuff that is going in and out of these look like data lines. So the ones that might control touch on the data side is this stuff that we have no idea, that we don't understand, down at the bottom. I hope you guys can see the cursor. I don't know if you can or not. So down here, things like SOC2 grape reset low, something like that probably needs to be there for touch to work on the data line side. But before looking at data, let's look at power. So how do these chips themselves get power? So that's where I want to start this. So over here on slaves, let's start with slave cumulus. Looks like this chip gets power from some line called PP5V25 grape. And then it has this weird line. This is it's the same thing that goes on with a cumulus when I've looked at it in iPhone 6. So SVDD core and SVDD analog, I guess. And then over here, we've got this PP1V8 grape SW coming in here twice. Let's see if that's the same or different over here. It's exactly the same. So both of these touch ICs seem to be powered by the same power rails. So the first thing that we should do is let's just pick this PP5V25 grape. So let's pick a cap C6652 and see whether or not it's present. So we're going to set up this iPad kind of how it is right now. We've got a screen, we've got a digitizer attached. Now my guess is that I could detach the digitizer because I didn't see any line there on the digitizer connector that would tell the CPU anything like, hey bro, there's a screen attached. So I think I'm probably going to be safe to take it off in order to take these measurements. So let's go on a hunt and see if we can find where is C6652. So that means we need to go over to ZXW and let's see, can we still, is ZXW still working? Yay, it is. All right, so let's close down this. Where is it? Schematic screen. All right, so we are looking for C6652. So let's find our way to not 6S. Let's go to iPad Air first generation. iPad Air first generation. And let's see. Rehot your brain. That's my Please Bro solution. What? All right. Replace filter, bro. What filter? Come on, tell me. All right, let's see. Isn't Touch IC right next to the display connectors? Yes. Cursor was visible. Great. Aren't the two cumuli, I like saying cumuli, I think that's cool. Aren't the two cumuli just above the cover plate for the connectors? Well, sure. All right. So I did look at the board. There's no physical damage. So we can't get anything from our, hey, let's look at the board. So we'll just skip right on ahead. So let's find our buddy. I already forgot his name. Who are we looking for? We're looking for C6652. So show yourself. C6652. Click. All right. So this guy, where are you? Somewhere under the stupid shield plate. I don't want to dig that up yet. All right, C6652. All right, ground side, line side. Let's see, is there someplace other than under there that I can get a read on that line? No, so screw that line. I don't want to start there because I don't want to have to desolder the little bracket. So just to be clear, those guys, why did it do this? It keeps like switching to black. Just to be clear, the iPad board, if we look at it under the microscope, has a soldered on shield bracket. And I think I will take off the digitizer here. I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to take a bet on that. I'll leave the LCD connected though. So the area that we would be looking for our buddy is hidden away. So let's look. Microscope, and I don't think you guys can see it that way. Click. All right. And that made hand camera go off, but that's all right. There's a black hair. The black hair. It's a pube. It's pube-induced touch fault. That's it. Solved. Pick off the pube and we're done. That would be nice if it was that easy. All right, so the guy that we would like to take a voltage measurement on is hiding under there. So that is too hard. So let's see if we can find an easier place to start. So let's go back to the schematic and see what we can find. So let's go back to schematic. All right, so we'll come back to PP5V25 if we can't find any other problem. Let's check on this PP1V8 grape SW. So let's learn about that guy. So let's see. Follow. All right, so we've got all 4 of these plugging into our cumuli, and it looks like this is the same power line that creates this data line here. So there he is again, same thing on the other guy. All right, this is just info, test point on the back of the board. Yay, here's a new spot. Okay, what's going on at this dude? Now this looks exactly like the way iPad mini touch power works. So kind of getting that experience base as you see these same patterns repeated from device to device. And sometimes you'll get a little extra information. Maybe one schematic will have a line that says out. The next schematic, it doesn't say in or out. So you kind of have to just guess. All right, so here we are at this little dude. Let's see how he works. So I'm going to guess that the way this works is PP1V8 grape is the signal, like kind of like an enable, where it says on, and the power to the chip, I'm going to guess, is this PPVCC main grape plugging into the top. So my guess is that if both of those are present, so this chip is plugged into the wall and bing, he's told to turn on, that what he does is he sends this PP1V8S to our grape through, and out comes PP1V8 grape SW. That's our line that goes on to power the cumuli. So my first question would be, okay, is this rail present? So let's go check on C6510 to see if we have 1.8 volts or not. So let's go on a hunt. Where is C6510? So let's go back. Let's go to ZXW. Let's reorder this stuff. All right, so now we're looking for C6510 on ZXW. So let's see if we can find it. C6510. Man, it takes forever to stream stuff, just to do all this kind of rooting around. All right, that's the ground side. So the line side is up here, and we can see all of this stuff around the cumuli. And we are going to take a voltage measurement, because this guy, I think, is just in the wind. And we want to take our voltage measurement on the sort of chip side of this cap. So let's find that. I'm going to plug the iPad in so that I know for sure that, you know, the screen, God damn it, this is, I don't know why OBS keeps doing that. When I click away, it just decides to go on whatever the hell scene it feels like doing. All right, so I'm going to plug it in to kind of prompt it to wake up the screen. That way I'm kind of ruling out, hey, what if I'm not getting a voltage because the screen is simply asleep and maybe it shuts down power voltages when it's sleeping? I don't know. So we want to kind of rule that out. All right, so multimeter is going to go on analog view for you guys. All right, so let's see if I can see it too. Oh, I moved that over a nudge. Kind of. We can kind of make do with that. All right, so let's go find our buddy C6510. So let's get back our microscope view and we'll shut that down for a second. All right, show yourself, C6510. You are right by the pube. Yes. And let's do this. We're going to unplug, plug. So that should wake him up. That should wake him up so that we should have a voltage there. And let's see if we do or not. All right, so I'm just taking a simple voltage measurement with one probe on ground and the other probe on the line side. And what does it say? So that's the reading. It says 0. 0, it should be 1.8. So let's go see if we can figure out why. So we're going to go back to the schematic. So let's go back to the schematic and see. All right, so we're missing this. C6510 is a big old goose egg right now. So let's find out why. Is this chip not working? Well, before we can kind of point a finger, hey bro, change U6500, 100% tested working. Let's first ask, is he being told to turn on, and does he himself have power, and does he have this, you know, kind of upper line that it looks like he's going to kind of send through. So let's see what we have and don't have. In fact, I'm going to make a little list so that I don't forget, because I have a really tough time at the end of the day remembering something like C6515 for more than about 2 seconds, not even 9 seconds, not even. All right, so we want to measure the PP1V8S2R grape. We want to measure that on C6515, and it should be 1V8. And then we want to measure our VCC main grape on C6500. And then we want to measure our PP1V8 grape, which is our kind of on signal. And we're going to measure him on R6505. Okay, so let's go hunt those guys down and measure them. All right, let's kind of stop blowing off chat every single time. There we go. Let's go find them on ZXW, and we will get rid of that. Okay, so let's see. Cap and voltage hunt. Does it have any grape voltage? That's what we're going to find out. Jump all filters with wire. I don't know. Grape voltage isn't in season yet. I like that one. We can't see ZXW. Can you see ZXW now? I hope. If you know your way around a schematic, you don't need ZXW. Yes, that is so true. ZXW is a crutch. It is a zillion times work saver, but it's not a substitute. It's not itself a tool. It's just a saver. You really can't, I can't stand it when people just try to just use ZXW or learn from ZXW. It's just a crutch, but it doesn't help you think. Okay, it is a convenience tool, exactly. All right. What does grape mean? Well, we don't know. We can only guess. Since we see the word grape a lot on the page that has to do with touch, we're going to guess it has something to do with touch. All right. Mac Pro said, I had the same issue with a brand new iPad never opened from Apple, and I found signs of soldering work near the touch IC controllers they left flux. Okay. Wiry pube is a wire. Okay. So can I get some Hatchimals? I have 2 Hatchimals in the shop right now, right over there. I haven't even looked at them. I don't even know what they are. If ZXW is a crutch, then call me crippled. All right, you're crippled. Stop using ZXW for like 5 days and see how much more you learn. All right, so let's go on a hunt, which we could just look at the schematic. In fact, you know, fuck ZXW. I'm going to say no more ZXW for the rest of the stream. Let's get rid of it. Let's see how long we can live. ZXW is down. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Yikes, yikes, yikes. All right, we're going to go over here to the schematic. Oh God. All right, so we're going to have to find this on our own now. All right, so let's look up. Where is C6515? Tell us, schematic. C6515. Tell us, dear schematic. Where is it? All right, and it says C6515 is over here. So this stupid red is annoying. Let's see if we can get rid of it. All right, so that we can see. All right, so this is our chip, and we were just here. We just measured the inside of C6510, and now we're going to measure. Hey, here's all of our buddies from our list. C6515, that's one of the guys from our list. This is that 1V8 S2R grape lime. And then let's just go ahead and measure that one first. So we'll measure C6515. Let's see what it is. Hey, ZXW has already taken us to, I think this is true, right? We'll just keep clicking back here. All right, we will click on microscope. Okay, let's do that voltage measurement. So we're going to go wake the screen up by connect, disconnect, so that we can be sure that it is alive, and you guys can see the multimeter. So now we are going to take this voltage reading here, And what does it say? 1.8. So that is alive, and the other side will be 0 because it's the ground side. So now we learned something. So the inside of that cap is the line side. So we do have that voltage present. So let's remember, what the heck does that mean? So let's go back here. And we now know that 6515 is present. So what does that mean? That means this rail is present, but it's not coming through this chip and appearing out here. So that's kind of a problem. So why is that? So let's see whether or not this chip is actually connected to power itself. So let's find C6500 and see if we have VCC main grape on C6500 or not. So let's go on a hunt for that, find it. And it is, hey, it's right in the same spot. So there's C6500. That's our power into this chip. So let's go and measure it. So let's get rid of schematics, and we're back at the microscope. So let's do the exact same thing again. Wake it up screen. Let's take our measurement. It keeps wanting to ask me to, do you want to import pictures? No, I do not. All right, let's get rid of the pube. All right, what do we have there? 4.1. That sounds like a good voltage for something called VCC main grape on a fully charged iPad Air battery. We're going to say that looks good. So what does that mean? Let's go back and keep following our puzzle. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, so now we found 6500. So what does that mean? Let's get back to our spot. Okay, so now we've checked the box on VCC main. So that's present. The 1V8S2R grape is present. So now we want to know, are you not shooting out this voltage because you're not being told to, you're not being clicked on by PP1V8 grape? So let's find either 6505 or R6505, either one, and take another reading on that and see what the deal is. All right, so let's do paste and go on a hunt. All right, and look at that. It's in the same exact spot. Yahoo. All right, so here is our 6505. So we should be able to measure that PP1V8 grape should be on that. So let's see if it is. So we're going to continue doing the same old thing. Get rid of schematics, bring back microscope, and disconnect. Wake up the screen. And now we'll take our voltage here. What is it? I can't see it because of this stupid thing in the way. All right, let's see. What is it? 0. Let's try the other side. The other side is also 0. Interesting. All right, 0 and 0. All right, let me make sure on that because that took a long time since I had to click that thing. I want to just be sure that we're not getting trolled. All right, 0, 0. Okay, so we are missing that on signal. That should be telling that chip, hey bro, dude wants to open his iPad, so you need to shoot out your cumuli power voltage, the 1V8 power voltage. So let's go see if we can figure out what the heck does that mean. So let's go back. And so we are missing the R6505 voltage. All right, so we should have had on one side ground, on the other side of that resistor, we should have had PP1V8 grape, and we were missing it. So now we know, okay, why are we missing PP1V8 grape SW? Because this chip is not told to shoot it out. So we can't replace that chip, or we can't point a finger at him. He's never told to do his job. So we got to follow the problem back this way now. So let's find out what we can about PP1V8 grape. What do you do, PP1V8 grape? Let's see, where else do you go? All right, so we don't care about PP1V8 grape SW. We know why he's not there. We just care about PP1V8 grape itself. So let's see, where is PP1V8 grape? Here we go, PP1V8 grape. Now when we get to this symbol, this means AKA, also known as. So sometimes the top of this page will even say aliases on it. Power connection, so this one doesn't say alias, but when we see that equal sign, that means PP1V8 grape is also known as. So let's grab this number. PP1V8SW2 is the same thing as PP1V8 grape. So let's see, is there any other place that PP1V8 grape goes? So that's not the right guy. That's not the right guy. That's where we started. All right, so the answer is that's it. PP1V8 grape goes to tell this chip to turn on, and it's otherwise known as this PP1V8 grape SW. Let me click to make sure that you guys can still see what we're talking about. It's missing enable signal. Okay. Help me, ma'am. Nope. All right, so do you have to take the measurements with the iPad powered up? You tell me. Do I have to, can I expect these voltages for touch to be present if the iPad is not powered up? Think about that and see if you can answer that question. Why those were dead costumers? I don't know. If you have dead costumers, you got bigger fish to fry. Maybe it's Halloween, some kind of a joke. All right, so let's go on our hunt now and see if we can figure out where does the AKA line PP1V8SW2. So let's learn about that guy. All right, so this is just telling us, info. That's where we were. Yes, okay. All right, aha. So here, PP1V8SW2 seems to be, let's follow this. PP1V8SW2 is a output of U8100. This is going to be our power management chip. So let's see, power management chip. All right, so this is undoubtedly the beginning of wherever PP1V8SW2 goes. This is his start because it's going to be a baby rail of the power management chip. So my question is, hey, is it present right there at the source and then it doesn't make it to the destination? Is there an open line somewhere, or is it never generated? So this is a great question to ask, and see whether or not it's present at the source and doesn't go anywhere, or is it never generated? So let's go down to this cap here. So now if we can find C8137, we can ask that question of PP1V8SW2, are you present out of the PMIC, yes or no? All right, so now we need to copy that C8137 and we need to find out where the hell it is. C8137. 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 Ah, it's on the back of the board. Boo. Well, I'm not doing that. Screw that. Bummer. I'm not taking the board out just to take that voltage. All right, bummer. Okay, so we're gonna have to abandon that tangent. It would have been nice to know, but we're not going to. We're not gonna go flip this sucker over just to answer that question. All right, so let's find out what else we can about PP1V8SW2. All right, paste. Where else does it go? All right, let's see. This is just information. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? All right, that looks like it. All right, so now what do we know? Let's get back to our equal sign. Here's what we know. Let's kind of put this together. The PMIC generates PP1V8SW2. It doesn't go anywhere until it gets renamed, and it gets renamed PP1V8 grape. Then after it gets renamed PP1V8 grape, where does it go? It goes here. It goes to our little chip, our U6500 chip, and it knocks on the door, ding dong, do your job. U6500, start putting out your output. Our guess is that this chip is powered on by VCC main grape, which is present. And our guess is that the input is PP1V8S2R grape, that if the signal ding dong from PP1V8 grape is present, which comes from the PMIC, then it will shoot out PP1V8 grape SW. And it's not doing that. So now we can kind of ask a question: why would the PMIC not output that PP1V8 grape signal? So you can't just say, because the PMIC is bad, replace it to solve. That might be the case. But why else? It would be the same kind of logic that we're using here. We're not blaming U6500. We're not going to replace him, at least not right now, because we don't know whether or not he was told to do his job. So there's likely, or there theoretically could be a reason that the PMIC is not putting out this voltage, because it doesn't do it unless it is told to by probably an interaction to the CPU. So it's likely that there's going to be some kind of logic or control that says, hey, don't bother wasting your energy putting out a touch voltage if we're not going to use touch. So the CPU may say, hey, as far as I know, there is no screen attached. Or, hey, as far as I know, the touch is disabled, or who knows what. There may be some kind of data line logic control that's telling the PMIC not to put out that voltage, and therefore it trickles down that we're going to have no power to touch. It's one possibility. The other possibility is that the PMIC is being told, or he's supposed to always put out that voltage, and the control actually, comes here at this chip, and therefore it's not putting out that voltage when it should. So that we don't really know the answer to right now. So let's, and we may not be able to find out, because that's going to involve really getting into things that we don't have a mechanism to learn about. What input to the CPU is required in order for the CPU to tell potentially the PMIC, hey, go ahead and output that signal to turn on the touch system. We don't know. So sometimes we kind of run up against a wall of what we can and can't figure out just using logic. All right, so what do we know right now? We know that PP1V8 grape is missing. And we know that PP1V8 grape SW is therefore also missing. So what should we do? Because now we're kind of at the end of our investigation, at least of this power rail. And it may be that our PP5V25 is also missing. We don't really know. So let's find out. I guess that let's see what you guys have to say about this, and then we'll kind of move on. Let's see if we can still see anything over here. Looks like it didn't switch over. Okay, so I'm gonna see what you guys think. Let's see. What? Nice troubleshooting process. Hatchimals. Wrong scene, we can't see. Are you checking ZXW when we can't see you? Absolutely not. Do you stream every day? No. The microscope is not in focus. Suck my dick. You can go to the iPad rehab complaint video and just bitch all you want over there. It's fine. Red probe, one pube. All right. We talked about measurements with the iPad powered up. Something Kuwait. Skip. So where does PP1V8 grape get generated? That's what we just answered. I'm not joking, ma'am. Read my whole comments, please. Bro, no. Please, bro, no more. No. All right. I've never had an iPad with a touch issue. All right. Jessa is 100% against Please Bro Solutions. That is absolutely right. I would suggest going to one of the other nice channels where they do answer Please Bro questions. All right. What do you guys mean when you say please, bro? Well, scroll up. We mean when people ask questions like, let me tell you a 6-word description of a board problem on on another side of the world that you've never seen, and who knows what kind of measurements it has, who knows what kind of prior repair or history or drop or water or rape of anything, you know, who knows. Please, bro, tell me what I need to do to solve. You need to post questions showing your thinking on a forum where there's people that are willing to volunteer to help to answer random questions. On this stream, we're going to talk about iPad Air with no touch. All right, let's see. I've heard it a few times. Also, Lewis asked me the other day, Jessa, can you write a definition for please, bro? So I did, and then he posted it to the Urban Dictionary. So now it's in the Urban Dictionary. You can look it up. All right. Let's see. Here we got an idea. Give power to U6500. Well, it already has power at this line, and check if it works. Well, let's think a little bit harder if there might be, if that makes the most sense right now. Okay, what if you inject 1.8 volts at the chip? All right, let's clarify what at the chip means. Let's see. Are you thinking it's a broken trace or the voltage being pulled down the ground by a bad cap? Yes, it's either, there's always three choices. When we know a line is not working. Either it's short to ground, it's open line, or it's never produced. So it's one of those three, and there's no other possibility. It's short to ground, it's not arriving at its destination because open line, broken open line, or it was never produced. Those are the only three possibilities, so it could be any one of those three. Run a jumper from another 1V8 source. Will affect battery, but work at least. Will it affect battery? Let's think about that. Let's think about the difference between voltage and current. So voltage is a push, a pressure. I can fill up a artery with blood. But if I don't have a heart pumping in order to actually produce flow, then I can maintain a blood pressure and it just stays there. So if I am to, if I just filled up that line, if it didn't have a hole in it, if it didn't have a short to ground, then I could just fill up that voltage and just kind of let it sit there. Let's see. Can we check for PP1V8 SW2 at C8136? Is C8136 easy to find? Let's see. C8136. Is that easy to find, or is that the same one? Let's go. Let's find out. Let's find out. C8136. Where is C8136? Well, that C8136 is PP1V8 SW1, and it's going to be on the bottom side of the board, so fuck that. Wait, it's not on the bottom side of the board? Let's see. Where is it? Find it. C8136. C8136. Let's make sure on this. So V pump goes to C8196. And then PP1V2 is that guy. 1V2 SW1 is this guy. 1V2 S2R is that guy. 1V8 S2R is this one. 1V8, ooh, it is going to be on this side. 1V8 SW2, nope, is the one that's on the bottom of the board. And then PP1V8 SW1 is over there. Let's see, maybe SW1 is the, I don't know, where does that go? We can kind of go on a hunt to see where that is and see if it's relevant to our problem. All right, so C8136 is a dude that we could measure, so that's good to know. Let's find out. C8136 is on PP1V8 SW1. So that, I think, is not our guy, but let's find out. Let's just research. Why not? All right, so this goes here to, oh, this is a great example. Love this. This is a great example. That's exactly what this video is about. Oh, you guys couldn't see that. Schematic screen. All right, so here's this great example. I was here for the very first time last week. And this is a great kind of please bro example because there was a guy that came to the course who I think is a great guy and knows a lot and already had a wealth of incoming knowledge. And he came to the course from Scotland. And I just had recognized his name from the forums, and I noticed that he had recently posted about an iPad Air that had this, strange NAND error. So it was originally not charging, or it actually ended up being that it was originally a red screening no boot thing. He thought it was NAND. He took off the NAND. He reprogrammed, or he repaired the NAND in the NAND thing. He solders the NAND back on, and he got this weird error 4014. And the common knowledge was that, well, if you take the NAND off and try to restore, it should get error 40. If it doesn't, then you might have some other problem. So he took the NAND back off and he restored, and he got error 4014 again, even with the NAND off. So then it was like something else is going on, so he brought it to the course. And this was an example of, this guy has told a very articulate, well-researched story, not just, please bro, why is my iPad Air not charging? Or why is my iPad Air not turning on? It gets this error. What does that mean? He had presented this really articulate, experience-based, thoughtful approach already. And then when we looked at the board at the course, guess what we found? Under the microscope with that really crisp visual diagnosis, this dude here, U8360, had been slightly tweezer damaged, and it's right next to the NAND. So in his NAND removal, he had kind of nicked this guy. So then we asked the question, what does this guy do? This guy, PP1V8S2R extension switch, in and out, it creates this PP1V8 extension switch. Where does that guy go? Switch to gate power to system on a chip, CPU, and NAND. So this is NAND power. And he nicked the chip. So we looked, is that present? Nope, it sure isn't. So what we suggested was, why don't you take that rest of the chip off and then just lay a jumper to bridge V in to V out, so you can kind of rule it out just for troubleshooting. So we did that, and then he tried to restore without the NAND, and he did get error 40. So there you go. You would have never been able to please bro an internet solution to somebody's problem, even somebody that really has a good body of working knowledge. Hey, you know what's wrong with your thing? You accidentally tweezer nicked, it's very hard to see, U8360. So take that off, jump across it, and that's what your problem is. You can't know these things, so you kind of have to just figure things out yourself. All right, so PP1V8SW1, not our line, not relevant to touch power, is the signal that turns on this guy, and this guy, I happen to know from last week, is relevant for NAND power. Where else does this guy go? No stuff, no care. All right, so this PP1V8SW1 looks like it turns into some audio line. So this SW1 is, kind of not really relevant for our problem because we know it must be present. Since, how do we know that? Why do I know that if I did measure 1V8SW1 at C8136, it would be there? Because this thing turns on. And so we know it has NAND power, and this guy ultimately generates NAND power. So we're going to say he's present. All right. So, but our guy was PP1V8SW2. All right. So let's get moving because I forgot. I need to go to pick up the CSA. All right. So we care about PP1V8SW2. Why? For those of you guys that are new, because he turns into PP1V8 grape. That's why we care. PP1V8 grape goes to a bunch of places. PP1V8 grape goes to this little logic gate chip that seems that we know we have VCC main grape is present. Ding. We know that PP1V8S2R grape is present. We know that this guy from the PMIC is absent, and we know that the output is absent. Why do we care about this? Because let's follow that output, and guess where that output goes? That output goes from here to power cumuli. It powers in here at the slave cumulus, and then also same dude is the power for touch. So that's why we care about him. And let's see, other than that, this is all Cumulus stuff. So we care about it. So what should we do? I'm sure that you guys, if we click over, oh, God damn, it's black again. Why does it do that? I have absolutely no idea. All right, so, oh, geez, we were looking at the schematic too. That sucks. That really sucks. Let's look and see how bad you guys are yelling at me in chat. All right, black green screen, great. Okay, so I'm sure that you guys have figured out what we should do now, and that is, all right, let's see. iPhone 6 does not get great, blah, blah, blah. Same issue with touch on my iPad, but that's because the screen is dirty, all right? Oh, here we go, spell checked, PP1V8SW2 to C8163. All right, let's go find that. Did you fall asleep last night? Yes. C8163. All right, paste. Nope. I'm guessing that OBS somehow has a hotkey linked to, yeah, something like this must have some kind of a hotkey. Our customers here. Everybody act cool. All right, so C8163. Where is C8163? Let's see. What does that have to do with anything? Hello, are you Mr. Danner? And that white iPad or white MacBook? No, not white. It's, what am I thinking? Totally spaced out. That is what Christy left for you to pick up, and as I believe it is all working and ready to go. Okay,
and there's no, this is under warranty?
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
That's wonderful.
Yes, no problem. We're
okay.
yeah, all tested out, should be okay, and hopefully we'll never see you again, right?
Not with this anyway.
Not with that anyway. All right.
Thanks very much.
Yes, no problem. All right, so C8163 VCC main bypass. That's a VCC main cap. All right, so we're gonna not sure how that's relevant either. Okay, so let's get back. Let's see what you guys have figured out. Have you done it? Let's see. What about checking the resistor that showed 0 voltage? Pull the resistor and test it. Oh, Lisa, why does that make sense? How would that help us? What would that tell us? Let's think about that. Well, let's look at that resistor and see if we can see what's up with that. What was it? It was R6505. All right. R6505 is a resistor to ground. So let's see. Could it become a wire to ground? No. Resistors, like a chunk that resists electricity, can't suddenly become a wire. They don't fail in that way. So there's no way that it doesn't have a mechanism to do any harm to us, right? If it were, let's say, a really big resistor or not present at all, then we would still have PP1V8 grape. It can't do anything. It's not an inline component, so it can't be missing or failing to pass that through. It really can't do anything to be hurting our 1V8 grape. It couldn't cause a short to ground, and it can't cause an open line, and it can't cause it to not be produced. So R6505 can't be possibly our problem. It wouldn't make or break PP1V8 grape. Hope that makes sense. All right, let's see if you guys have figured out what we should do. Let's see. C8163. Oh, God bless it. All right, C8163. Did we just check that? C8163. 8163. That's where we just checked. Yeah, so I don't get that. That's those are all VCC main caps. All right, so clue me in if I'm missing something there. All right, something about unrelated stuff. I know the definition of voltage, but if electrons are drawn to a positive charge, then wouldn't voltage technically be a pull and not a push? voltage, let's make things simple and so that we can understand them logically. It doesn't make sense practically to think on like nano detail. So let's think of voltage as push, pressure, just like water pressure, it makes something flow. And let's think of current as moving electrons, miles per hour. It doesn't really matter what direction they're moving. None of that is relevant for practical repair. They get pushed and they move if you have a path. And that's all it is. All right, let's see. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Here we go. Inject our own 1V8 at R6505. Close. What would happen if we did? What's our goal here? Inject our own 1V8 at R6505. So our premise is that if we did that, if we supplied that on switch, then what would happen? Then we would get an output. So if our first question is the reason we don't have touch, is it because we're missing that output? So I want to supply the output and see whether or not that solves the problem. And if it does, then I want to pursue, okay, what is the best way for me to kind of generate that output? So that's what I would want to do first. All right, numbers and scenes have hotkeys, yes. I feel like Lewis changed your shortcuts. Oh, I'm sure he did. Hashtag blame Lewis. That's really funny. I went through recently and deleted all of the hotkeys. Ooh, could we do a jumper? So something 1V8 when the screen something up. Check grape before and after the IC. All right, grape is a word that is too broad. I'm not sure what check grape means. Let's see. If we can verify the PP1V8SW is the issue. Bench power supply. Find a similar line that is only on when needed. All right. Well, I'm going to move on. God damn it! Stupid hotkeys. I'm totally just getting trolled. I know it. This is just a total troll. All right, time to move on because I got to get to the CSA. It's the last day of the CSA pickup, and I want to wrap this up. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to make a jumper from any other 1V8 to the output that is touch power, and I want to see if that brings back touch. So that's kind of my first question, and kind of simple solution would be, if I put 1V8 on the 1V8 output that doesn't have 1V8 right now, does it go to ground? Is there a problem inside one of the chips, one of the cumulus that it goes to? I don't know. So I want to find out what happens if I put that output there. I don't care about trying to make this chip work or trying to guess why he's not being told. I want to just see what happens if I just sort of put that output there. So let's see. We've got a lot of choices of 1V8 that we can choose from. Let's go on a hunt and let's get back to our chip, which I think is U6500. Yes, U6500. All right, U6500. So what I want to know, I have this guy present, PP1V8S2R grape, who is supposed to become PP1V8 grape SW when told to. So what I'm going to do is just say, fuck when you're told to. You're going to always be PP1V8 grape SW. You're not going to depend on being told a goddamn thing. You are, for now and forevermore, going to become this line permanently, as if I just hardwired that connection together so that I wasn't dependent on any kind of logic. And I'll show you why I think, another kind of thing that I think is interesting. Let's see if I can find this. In iPad mini, everybody always wonders about no stuffs and, gee, what happens if I put a no stuff back? Let's see if this same line is there. All right, it's not. Let's pick this other line. Let's try to get to the same spot here in the iPad mini just for fun. All right, I'm pretty sure that this is a match for the name. Let's see how iPad mini is the same or different. All right, hey, here's this same dude. Look at that. So we have this PP1V8S2R grape that comes through. We have this signal to turn it on. We have it's powered on by VCC main grape. And then we've got this output, PP1V8S2R2 grape. And where does it go? It goes through a filter, and it ends up becoming this line, and that goes out to the iPad mini digitizer connector. It goes through the digitizer connector, and it powers the touch ICs that are on that little daughter board in the iPad mini. So this is a touch power rail. If you don't have this rail, you don't have any touch. Now here's what's interesting about this. If you look at the schematic here, see where it says no stuff? What if that wasn't no stuff? What if I stuffed it? If I stuffed this, then I would take PP1V8 grape and just make it become PP1V8 grape filter. So there was a point of time, at least during troubleshooting, where that was a plan. And then later they decided not to do that. So this got edited to no stuff. So I think that it's perfectly valid to say, well, you know what? Let's go back to the old days and make PP1V8 grape become the touch power line, the 1V8 touch power line. See what happens. Rather than no stuffing this and making the whole line then go back and depend on this chip and its input. So that instead PP1V8 grape has to plug in and tell this dude to turn it on. Okay, so let's go back to our air and find out what's the easiest way to take PP1V8 S2R grape and make it become PP1V8 grape SW. And I think the answer to that would be, what happens if we just make a little wire from the line side of C6515 over to the line side of C6510? Let's do that. So where is C6510 and 6515? C6510 and C6515. So here they are. Ah! Let's make sure I didn't hotkey. God damn it! Oh my God, killing me. This video sucks. All right, every time I click the keyboard, I'm gonna have to go back and check. All right, let's see. So 6510 and 6515. It's gonna be somewhere around here. There we go. So here's C6510, and we already know that this is the line side, and that's the ground side. And then C6515. We already know that this is the line side and that's the ground side. So let's just put a little wire and kind of ding, ding, connect that up. Let's see what you guys think about that plan. There is a shortcut, yes. Just throw a filter on the no stuff. Well, we could, except for that's an iPad mini and we're trying to fix an iPad Air. Okay, is U6500 turning on? No, it's not, because it's not told to. All right. There's the shortcut. All right. Make a little U with magnet wire connecting. Yes, let's do it. Let's get this 5-minute job that was a 5-minute job from the beginning that has now been able to consume like a whole fucking hour, and let's do it and see what happens. Let's see what happens. So now I'm getting ready to solder on this sucker. So I am going to disconnect the battery, because I don't feel like doing an add-on backlight repair today. Not today. All right, let's see what happens. If nothing happens, then I think we learned a lot, but I still have to go. All right, let's see. All righty. Now, what we can do is we could kind of, we never did ask the question of, why is that enable signal not being generated? Maybe it is being generated, but it's short to ground or open line. So we didn't feel like taking the board out, but we can test to see whether or not that line is short to ground by comparing to a known good board. So let's do that first. If we have a simple short, then we don't really need to even go through all this trouble. Let's do that. So we kind of would be silly to not find that out first. So in diode mode, let's look at the microscope, and microscope cam, where are you? Schematics, go away. All right, let's just test for short to ground in diode mode. So let's see what the diode mode reading is here. And the diode mode reading is 0.311. And here it's 0.492. Okay, and let's compare that to a known good board. Let's see. These aren't known good, but they are not known bad. How about that? Ah! Well, that's probably not going to tell us very much because he's missing that chip. That means somebody's been there before. All right, so on this side, 0.398, and the other side, 0.528. We'll call that close enough. There doesn't appear to be a short to ground on that enable signal. So I'm glad that we tested that out and kind of ruled that out. All right, so we've got our battery isolated so that we can solder on it. So I shoved a business card under there. And we are going to solder a wire to connect these two sides. All right, so let's just make sure. Ground side, line side, line side, ground side. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. All right, we're going to grab, I think magnet wire is a little thin for a power line, so I would rather use just a single ply piece of braid. Let's see if I have a piece that's big enough. This is a great use for braid since, you know, we don't have to wick pads more than once a week, or if that. Saw another guy rape the board from wicking pads on iPhones for no reason today. All right, I'm just tearing apart some braid to see if I can get a piece that's long enough to wrap around this area. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely need to be out of here in the next 10 minutes, leaving on the way home. Alrighty, here's a big piece of braid. Let's fire up the old soldering iron. All right, sounds good. Is this for data recovery? I hope so. I have a feeling that it's not, in which case then we'd have to kind of put thought into a permanent solution and whether or not this is a practical permanent solution or not. So we'd have to, you know, test things like, you know, different conditions and battery life and things like that. But who knows if this is even going to work. This is really just investigational right now. If this may not work at all because there's, you know, some higher reason why the enable signal is missing because, you know, there's more of a data line problem with touch overall. And it's not a power problem. Power is just, the missing power may be the symptom of a broader inability to detect the screen or something like that for touch. I don't know. Almost time for Burger King. What? All right. Jason likes wicking pads. Jason who? Wicking pads is a really horrible idea, and it causes far more damage than any... I mean, I really can't even think of the only questionable benefit it has, which I really disagree with, is that it makes your surface flat for your chip to sit on. I don't think it's good. It leaves cobblestone pads that are really difficult to get them to adhere and make good joints. You know, they don't have little pools of molten solder. Remember, how do the chips get on there? Do they go on naked pads? No, they don't. They go on paste. So if you're braiding pads, at least tin over them. You know, there's no reason to braid pads on iPhones. It just doesn't make any sense. I can't think of any good reason for that. Okay, let's see. When are the good stencils available in the iPad rehab store? Very soon. I'm still testing some out. I tested out the 3D stencil today. Here, I'll let you look at it. It's pretty cool. See how you actually put the chips in there, and then you flip it over, and they stay in there, and then it's just easier to position. So I did a NAND today with that. I didn't really like it for NAND. I liked my other one better. So I'm still kind of testing them out, and I want to have, like, you know, recommendations for various jobs. Let's test, shall we? All right. Jason from Microsoldering. Jason from Microsoldering. No, that really doesn't make sense. I know there's a couple of Jasons in the repair industry. From Microsoldering is Michael Huey, who's not Jason or affiliated or related to Jason in any way. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about. All right, let's get rid of microscope cam. Okay. All right, let's see. Yes, I saw an email about tweezers, and I forwarded that on to Sunday, the business manager. So hopefully she will answer you without having to bug me a whole bunch. We'll see. All right, where's the LCD? What did I do with the LCD? Is it this? Yes. All right. Now this test LCD is janky. I think it only plugs in if it's laid down flat. So let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right. Jason from Lewis Rossman. Jason Gann, he better not be braiding pads. I doubt that. On MacBooks, absolutely. That's a completely different beast. I don't think that he's braiding any kind of iPhone pads. I'll ask him. I'll yell at him if so, setting a bad example. All right, let's see if we can get lucky enough to get this thing to boot with me just holding the battery, which is a really bad idea. Lewis Rossman is a person, not a place. Kind of. Lisa likes her 3D stencils. I like the 3D stencils too, but I'm kind of undecided. All right, so let's see if I can click over to hand cam. Is that going to work? Is it? Are you going to work? Come on, work. Yes, that thing is complaining. All right, hand cam. God damn it. Stop that. All right, so this is either going to work or not. And then if it does work, then we'll kind of review a plan. If it doesn't work, then we'll kind of think more about it, but we'll be done either way. Let's see. Nope, not working. All right, so there we go. That's an answer. So as long as this digitizer is good, which I kind of would have to verify, it appears that we are supplying 1 V8 to, oh shit, digitizer may not have been plugged in. May or may not have been plugged in because it just kind of ripped out really easy. God damn it. Incompetence with the general repair. Let's get one that was not last known good October 2017. Now I can plug this one in right now because there is no power to the touch connectors. We just looked that up. We know that there are all those MT yada yada lines. Will this stay on? Does it have touch? Seems to not have touch. All right, seems to not have touch. So let's ask whether or not we actually have that voltage present that we are supposedly injecting. All right, let's see. So let's lay this sucker down and let's go back to the microscope and let's test. Do we actually have 1V8 on our 1V8 power to cumulus line? Yes or no? So let's stick this back on voltage and wrap this up one way or another. I have a really bad habit of fixing things, of doing a video, spending so much time kind of explaining and chatting that it makes the repair go really, really slow. And then after I click the camera off, then fixing it. All right, let's see. What do we have? All right, we have 1V8 over there. And what do we have over here? And we have 1.8. So we have So thank goodness we did it like that, right? Now we have supplied 1V8 to our cumuli, but we still don't have touch. So I'm glad that we didn't spend a whole lot of time troubleshooting that chip and the enable and the on and, you know, what can we do to make the chip make its output, because there's probably a reason why that voltage is not coming out of the PMIC. The only thing that I want to do is just make sure that our test was good. So I'm going to lift the battery and I'm going to plug it back in and boot it up again with a screen attached the whole time, because I'm just not 100% sure that that answer is a good answer. So I'm going to plug in this digitizer. I'm going to disconnect iPad, press it back onto the battery. That's a terrible thing to do to an iPad, is to not get really serious about the battery connection, but we're in a hurry. All right, let's see if we can prompt it to boot. No, I want you to like turn off all the way and reboot. I want you to reboot, bro. All right, lift up battery, press down battery, and close that thing, stop that. Prompt to boot, turn on hand camera, switch over, in theory. No input signal. Wake up, hand camera. There you go. There you go, bro. All right, now it's either gonna have touch or not, and we will know our answer. If we don't have touch, then we really have no choice but to go explore underneath the shield that covers the Cumulus chips and try to figure out what is it that was making this voltage not be present from the PMIC. Is the PMIC, apparently it doesn't matter if the PMIC puts it out or not. Let's see if I can slide to power off. Slide to power off. Nope. No touch. Wah, wah, wah. All right, so this device, now we've just kind of done one step during the troubleshooting path, which is start with power and then go to data. So power, as far as we know, our first question, are these chips getting power? We have checked out one rail, PP 1V8, whatever it is, when it gets, what is it when it gets to, goes over to the Cumulus. So we have checked out, just to kind of wrap this up and put a bow on it. Let's go to schematic screen and put that on there and get rid of this. So what we have learned is that this line now we are supplying. Where does it go? Why? We found that it was not shooting out of there. Now it is, because we fixed that problem. And as a result, now we know when we look at touch, we found our way here from the connector back at the beginning. This seems to be important for touch, but it may not be the only thing important for touch. So here we have PP1V8 Grape SW that is plugging in here, also here, and we know that rail is present because we just measured it. It also plugs in here at Master Cumulus, and it plugs in there. So our guess is that that line is now 1V8 at these touch chips. And we could come measure it again closer to the touch chips to make sure that there's not any kind of problem, but probably it is absolutely there, because there's nothing really, there's no real mechanism for how it could get an open line between this little source chip and the cumuli. All right, so we're going to check the box for power line number 1. And then that takes us to investigate power number 2, PP5V25 Grape. So we have to take off those shields to even test that line, and we'd ask the same question. Is that voltage present? If not, why not? And it makes perfect sense. Let's find out, where does PP5V25 come from? It's a little bit high to come from the PMIC. It sounds like it would come from some kind of a boost chip. Let's find out. Let's learn about it a little bit. So it comes, it does come from the PMIC. So it is in the screen grape section, and we've got a bunch of different power rails that all have to do with screen or touch. This is one of them. So PP5E25 is a PMIC output. So it makes sense if our problem is not, problem within the PMIC, if the PMIC is not told, hey, there is, hey, we want you to turn on touch, then it may not generate that voltage or the one that we already found it was not generating. So that's kind of consistent with that. All right, so PP5V25 underscore grape is the same thing as PP5V25 underscore grape. And it goes around a few places and ends up here at both of the cumuli. Then we could ask about these things. What are these supposed to be? Because it seems like one is, kind of probably is generated by cumulus and then comes back to cumulus. So those probably depend on these other power rails being present. Then we've got all of our data, and then we can look around here to see PP1V8 grape. Is that our line? PP1V8 grape SW. If that line, oh, here we go. Here's a problem right now. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Isn't PP1V8 grape SW the line that is down, or it was SW2? If this line is also down, then by definition, we're going to be missing these data lines. Cumulus, real-time clock probably, and we're going to be missing this CPU grape, meaning touch, reset when low. Maybe there's a short to ground there. I don't know. So this PP1V8 grape SW, we also haven't measured yet. We measured SW2, and then we looked around at SW1, but we never did anything with PP1V8 grape SW itself. So that would be a power line that would definitely be required. And here it is again over there. That's not our line, is it? Yeah, it is. It is there. PP1V, oh yeah, this is the renamed section. We followed from the PMIC PP1V8 grape SW2, and it turned into PP1V8 grape SW. So there it is, meaning it should, it should be present here at the cumulus. It should be present here as well, because we've kind of restored 1V8 to that line. But now that we can see that that line is the power line through which data is generated by these chips, especially over here. It's interesting that the master cumulus, but not the slave cumulus, only the master cumulus has off of this PP1V8 grape SW rail, only it has these two pull-up resistors and then these two data lines, cumulus M BCFG, which is probably real-time clock. And then this one, which is a reset line. Both of those sound really important. So it may be that there's some kind of a timing issue that we definitely didn't think about before. Maybe this PP1V8 grape SW has to be present, at a certain time during the boot up sequence that we may not have thought about it. Anyway, lots to think about. I think, this is a great example of kind of how to think, when you're approaching a problem. I've never really thought about iPad Air touch problems before, because I know a lot of people have thought about them and nobody seems to be fixing any of them. But there's no reason for that. Everything is kind of drills down to something that is largely straightforward at the end. If you kind of think about it from a really logical perspective, look for problem, look at the line level, problem line, why, short, open, or not being produced. And then if it's not short, it's not opened, why are you not being produced? Move the problem back and start thinking again. Think about how are things told to turn on. So that, I hope that you guys learned a little bit about how to kind of think about an open-ended problem, and we'll, I'll put more time into this, and if I do end up figuring out what it was, I'll probably do an update video that just kind of walks through the end of it. So that is it. Let me look and see if there's anything. Jessa, you need to go to the CSA. Yes, I absolutely do, because now it is 6:06. Reset could be pulling it down. Exactly. So many fun things to think about. Exactly. All right. But I'm out of time because it is time to go pick green beans for the last time this year. I will see you guys next time.